Yeah, it feels like we saw a little bit of shades from the first 3 quarters against South Florida and what we saw against Vanderbilt last week today. It's like this looks
Yeah,
like a sign of things to come, but not good.
yeah. You know, uh, and once again, the first 5 minutes, and I just wanted to see what adjustments, if any, personnel wise, that would kind of take place going into the game out of coming from Vanderbilt and that catastrophe. And the opening drive, I mean, just going and going and going and going and then I'm really offensively. I'm both sides of the ball. Up front, not very good play. I mean, up front, it's just I mean, it's awful. Milrow, I could tell during the second quarter, third quarter, he was uncomfortable back in the pocket. Couldn't depend on anybody, and the edge rushing from the guys Alan Cole talked about last week. Those guys speed rush just ran by us, and that's what we're missing on defense. I'm not really sure Womack what he's trying to do on defense. I know his base is a 4-2-5. And but there were times I saw a 3-3-5, and I didn't think there were too many times that I did not feel like we were getting any pressure on the quarterback. I felt like and we don't have an edge presence, and so it was kind of odd not having a presence on the edge to push forward. It's like we're big on the defensive front, but there's no speed. And then to compound that, we don't do a lot of stunning, and it's just too it's too mundane. It's just there's no pressure. We're not getting really enough pressure on the quarterback. We're not confusing their quarterback, and they today was the opposite. They were confusing Milrow. They were pressuring him, and you saw some bad plays with regard to what they were doing. I mean, the safety at there toward the end of the half, ridiculous. What was it? Speed rush. It was constant, speed rush that they just ran by our offensive tackles. And then they didn't put anybody. Well, there were a couple of times there in the second half, and I even heard Jesse Palmer mention one or two things we talked about last week. Getting Milrow, moving him out of the pocket. If they're going to press with that speed rush and our tackles can't handle the speed rush, move the pocket. I heard Jesse mention that same thing. And then there was where we put, a back or a tight end or somebody there just to change the alignment, force that defensive end to move out a step or two. And so we didn't do any of that. So, and if we did, it was not enough. And then I don't know, did you get a read of what we were trying to do on offense? I didn't get a read. Did you get a read, a feel of what we were doing on defense?
Sloppy. We look
It was awful.
outrageously terrible.
No better. I mean, I didn't see any improvement.
Oof.
I didn't see. I mean, hardly any. I made some notes here, and toward the second, the end of the second quarter, everything was kind of riding along. I wasn't comfortable, and then there toward the end of the second quarter, okay, and then there you are. We've got them 4th and 9, and everybody. Once again we're back to this 4th down, 3rd down. Look at those statistics. Well, it came to bear. All right, there in the first half, we held them 0 for I think 5 on 3rd down. But then once again, here we are on 4th down. We got a freshman out there, and I understand Jackson was hurt, and so we were playing freshmen. And I mean, they just run a little just out and up, and nowhere near. Guys so wide open, and then no pressure. I mean, it was just simple pitch and catch, and so that kind of bothered me. And then I saw the pressure. I put when Milrow threw that interception one. Right there, right after I mean, it was just chaos the whole game. But right after that 4th down touchdown, then Milrow comes back and throws that interception. And number one, he telegraphed the ball the whole way, and then number two, he threw in triple coverage. I mean, there were 3 guys. I'm gonna bring that clip if I can get my clips this week. I'm gonna show you he threw in the triple coverage, and it was telegraphed all the way. It was like a called route. and bad things happen.
Well, and
So
Daddy-O says that Carolina beat Bama in the trenches. One unforced turnover is the difference today. Agreed.
Well, hey, tell him I wrote this down. Offense, defensive line, terrible. I mean, they're slow. I wrote big but slow, no speed rush for third down at any point in time in the game did I see any. And so now, since we don't have a Dallas Turner or somebody like that, now it looks like we're just trying to drop. I mean, I know he runs a base 4.25, dropping 5, but there were times I saw a 3.35 and dropping, everybody trying to cover. I mean, get after the quarterback a little bit, and it's got to be up front some. It can't always be a stunt.
God!
Now you're going to release and gamble that they can find that open receiver, but they got to do something. Something is missing down there. To me, it's that edge rush.
One thing I noticed, that was the same thing that just put a screeching halt to Bama last week. That shuffle pass. I was like, no, it's shades of Alabama Vanderbilt again. No.
Well, see, and then there you go, Alabama. They should have done that against South Carolina because, I mean, the two guys, the outside guys were really putting pressure on the outside, then they shuffle that thing underneath. I mean, we're getting out schooled by our opponents. I mean, if they're going to rush upfield, dump it underneath. And, that's what Vanderbilt did, and that's what South Carolina did. And look, it always pays off. I told you we used to call it that shuffle pass. And there was just, it's almost like the plays that we get beat and give up really, really big plays and look really, really dumb are the simplest design plays. Nothing complicated. That touchdown that he threw there on 4th and 9. I mean, that was a simple play. Nothing complicated about it. No great design. It was a good call, good play. But it seems like, we look like Ned the First Reader. see Jane and the Fox walk.
Yeah.
And then there at the end of the game, what chaos. And in the game, you got the game in your lap. You got it in your lap. And then, boom.
Oh, my God. Like, we couldn't stop Rocket Sanders as well. It's like, oh, no, this is going to be a problem.
Jack, we're the worst tackling team. I mean, it's horrendous. I don't know if they do the old back in the old days, we did tackling drills. It was full contact. I don't know. Now they buzz them up, just run up here and just buzz and don't make the full contact or anything. Bring them to the ground and they just buzz them. It's like two-hand touch. And then we get out there to play and nobody throws any arms. And are we just buzzing them up? When football got to that in practice, that's when it was time for me to go. Buzzing somebody up in practice, just two-hand touch. Crap. Are you kidding me? And then we can't tackle anybody. It's a joke.
Well, Daddy-O says, feels like Carolina lost this game versus Bama winning.
Dang right. That's exactly right. We stumbled through another one. And the second half of Georgia seemed like we kind of stumbled to the end of that and got, had some, good breaks there toward the end. We didn't stumble through anything with Vanderbilt, but we're like the Keystone Cops, the old silent movie era, Three Stooges.
Yeah.
He's right.
They're just like, well, when I say go, we'll all point to the right. Go.
Yeah.
Hey, that's my head. Don't know his left from his right. And when I say go, we'll all point to the right.
What's his finger? It's coming right at you. I mean, it's Ned and the First Reader. I mean, it's just it's ridiculous. I don't know what they are. They still doing ice cream and jazzing it up and singing songs during practice?
I don't think so. But we need.
They started that stuff way back when. They started that stuff, that buzzing them and just getting to them and just stopping. And they started that in practice. And I mean, I always thought that would get somebody hurt because there's going to be a point in time where you get in a game and you run right. And in the old days, you'd finish the tackle. Now, you're just training them to go up there and just stop. And, that's when you get hurt if you just don't flow through and finish, momentum, law of momentum. And so I need to take a trip down there and watch tackling. I just watch a practice. I used to do that, and it was always fun. I need to do that again. Oh, Coach Trimble Stallings was a coach there, and Coach Trimble played. My father-in-law, he played for Bear Bryant. Coach Stallings was a coach down there, and so we used to coach. We'd go down there and watch, and he'd give it, let us out on the field, and we go anywhere we wanted, and it was great watching them. And I mean, they were getting after it back then. Now they got the little pads on their helmets, and buzz.
Yeah.
Don't bring them down. What was it? Don't take them to the ground. They started that years and years ago. Don't take them to the ground.
No.
Keep them from getting hurt. I mean, it's a violent game.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's still violent. Don't get me wrong. They're hitting, but they're not tackling. They're just bumping. They're just not tackling. The art of tackling is just going. It's going out the wind. Going with the wind.
That's definitely one way.
What do you think about the onside? What do you think about the onside kick?
Honestly, I was hurling F-bombs when I saw that. So I was none too thrilled. I was like, we just lost the game. Ah.
Yeah, and bottom line, simple things. It's like we're the Three Stooges. I mean, simple. Recover the onside kick, and it wasn't that difficult. And the ball just spins around, and catch. You put your hands team out there. The guy's supposed to be able to catch, and then boom, boom, boom. Nobody can catch it.
Did those guys eat something greasy last night? Did they have butter on their fingers that we didn't know about? Like, good grief!
In the day they got those little all that stick 'em and all that, whatever on the ball, and then they got it on their gloves, and it's like magnet, and it sticks. And then here we are, instead of trying to stick our hands out there and catch it, we're trying to shoulder, and then we don't have any stick 'em and any magnetism with the jersey. It's all on those, and they can't stick their hands out there, and that glue, all these one-handed catches, all sticking to it like tree sap. And we can't get an recover an onside kick.
It's a lucky thing that our defense stepped up in those final plays of the game. But other than that, it's
recovering an onside kick is such a rare. I mean, it's not like it. I mean, it's your only option, sure, at the end of the game, but it is so rare to recover one. And boom, that's what surprises me. And then extends the game, and here we go. And then Jackson intercepts the ball at the end of the game, and what does he do? He runs it out. He's out there. What if he'd have fumbled it? And now, next thing you know, they pick it up and run it in. Crazy things happen. I mean, what is it? What is that?
No.
I mean, why don't you just, it was the last play of the game, just knock it down. Or I think it was I think time was running out. I'm not real sure on that one. But I mean, catch it, go down to the ground. He's sitting there running it out. Coach. I mean, I was a no-no back in the smart days of football. Man, I don't know what these kids are thinking. Put me on TV and let me make a highlight clip instead of just catch the ball, go down to the ground. You've got possession.
Yeah. It was. I just hope we're better. I just really hope we're better than this next week. Although I'm really nervous about how we're going to do against Nico Lima-Leva from Tennessee next week. T-Love says, USC fan here. I think USC is a top 25 team, has lost against LSU, Ole Miss, Bama. The SEC is brutal. Case John 1 says, Johnny is talking about the firm grip, the sticky stuff. We appreciate you tuning in that.
Yeah, it was one-handed. Oh, everybody's so in those one-handed catches or whatever. I mean, you ought to see them coat the balls. I mean, they put all the whatever on the ball, and then they got the gloves and all this kind of stuff. Let's get back to the old days and take those gloves off and quit putting that crap on the ball, and just now we're adding in. What are we going to put a little North Pole, South Pole on them next? Got the little microphones in their ears and 2-minute warnings. I mean, just adding stupid stuff to the game.
Yeah. And mm,
You lose the amazement. It's when
yeah,
back in when you don't have gloves on and you don't, all that kind of stuff, and you make a catch like that. That's amazing. But now today, with all these super fly, gloves and tacky crap they put on the balls, and all, oh, come on, just stick it out there and it glues. I
even
know.
though I
I'm Debbie
talked
Downer.
about,
I'm Debbie Downer.
even though I talked about our defense saving the day, picking a good time to save the day in the final plays of the game a little while ago, I don't know where our defense was on that last touchdown. Like, good grief. It was
The last drive, yeah, that last touchdown drive by South Carolina. I mean,
mhm.
it was next thing you know, thrown to the end zone.
Yeah.
It's not good,
It
not good, not good. Yeah, you ought to be
yeah,
able
it
to a good team will seal a game like that, and not the last second, the miracle finish, that kind of stuff. So, still waiting. Don't I know I'm Debbie Downer, that kind of stuff, but it's a good team. It's got possibilities. You got good players. There's no doubt, but there's got to sooner or later be a continuity with what they're doing. I heard a little Malachi Moore or some of them saying something about getting the defensive calls in quicker, which would help. And we always had base defense. I mean, if everybody was confused and the speed of the game was whatever, we'd just go base. And so what they consider base, I don't know. Now everybody's shuffling players in and out, motion and all that kind of stuff. But we had a defense call it's just base. Just we're not going to do anything stupid, crazy. We're going to line up, and the base defense was just fundamental. You line up, somebody covers the outside receiver, somebody covers the inside receiver. Defense lines up normal. We're not going to stunt. We're going to play base defense and not have to do a lot of thinking. Now everybody wants to think and analyze. Hell, we got these guys up there in the booth, analyzers. God, me. How much information can you throw out there? And then, so consequently, maybe taking longer to get the calls in. The players are in panic. Give them enough time to think.
I'm glad you brought up players in panic because I was thinking about Jalen Milrow today. He's had sort of a mixed bag today against South Carolina.
Yeah, he was jittery. I mean, and he's to the point. The way they are right now, he's holding on to the ball too long. Okay, he's got the
Agreed.
legs. Hey, go through the first. Try not to channel the reads. Don't go through too many. You start feeling that pressure, get out. And now he's and no quarterback is good backing up. If you're backing up to try to get away from the defensive pressure, that's a bad scenario. And then when you try to throw the football when you're backing up, now you're not balanced, and it's even worse. So they need to get down to a little 1-2 check down reads or whatever, and he feels that pressure. Get the crap out of there and do like the quarterback at South Carolina, slide. Because I don't want to see him going head first in there. Just slide in there, get what you can, go down to the ground. But he needs to get out of there quicker. Right now, if I'm going in Tennessee, I'm gonna say, hey, boom, boom, 1-2, and if it's not there, get out of there. You're too good a player. Get what you can and get on the ground or get out of bounds.
Well, that first interception from the second quarter before we went to halftime, I I'm not gonna lie, I was worried that it was gonna turn into a pick six, but
Yeah. Oh, I
for
saw you because I was watching a channel that had two views from behind the quarterback and then the side angle. And so I was watching, I was watching from the quarterback perspective behind him, and I saw it. I mean, I was like, my wife was sitting over there, and I was like, oh no. And I mean, I saw him throw it. I was looking right behind him, and I was like, oh my gosh. I could see that it was going to be picked off and everything. And oh, yeah. Mm. And it was one of those. He was backing up. He was feeling a little pressure. And if they're not going to help these tackles on speed rush and putting a wing or a tight end and something like that, then he on plays like that, no backs. So many times he was no backs, no help. Get out of there. 1-2. If it ain't there, gone. We
yeah,
didn't get a lot of that.
no.
And I'm
Like I
not
said,
talking
he
run
was
around.
jittery.
there's a difference in extending a play, and that's just keep running around, extending a play and that kind of stuff. And then there's a point, just take the ball, get what you can. I'm talking Jalen Milroe needs to take the ball down, get what you can. Quit trying to extend the play and backing up. I just want to take my shoe. When I had a quarterback like that, I just take my shoe and kick it in their butt.
Mm.
You know, there's this old story they used to call Coach Bryant the kicking coach. You know, Bear Bryant, they used to call him the kicking coach because they said you never knew when he was going to come up behind you and kick you in the butt.
Mm.
And a lot of people thought when I've told players that story, kicking coach, they thought he was in charge of the punt team and the kickoff team. No, and he said his kid, you never knew when that guy was going to kick you in the butt. And so if I had a quarterback, it was if you want, sometimes you're going to kick him in the butt, figuratively for all you hug tree people. I'm figuratively. That's hyperbole, exaggeration. Crazy world, isn't it, Jack?
Yeah.